First story this week is about Uber. The CEO announced in an interview with Bloomberg that they are building a chatbot powered by AI. Now, we don't know exactly what it will do yet, but we know obviously that Uber has a long history with machine learning. A lot of their tools, like for example, connecting the drivers with the riders and search pricing, are built with this technology. But of course, this is something completely new. But we can look at some of their competitors to maybe get an idea of what it will look like. For example, DoorDash, they've built their own Dash AI, which is a chatbot that they're testing out in different markets right now, and that will allow customers to get more personal recommendations using text prompts. So you could, for example, ask, I've been to this restaurant, do you maybe know some similar restaurants in my region? But then if we look at Instacart, they take a different approach. They're very vocal about their partnership with OpenAI, and they were actually one of the first ones to make a plugin on ChatGPT, which allowed people to order groceries directly on ChatGPT. Now they are working with them as well in their own app. So if you type, for example, I want to organize a barbecue, then you will actually get specific ingredients or bags of chips or beer bottles that you can order to make your barbecue a little bit more fun. We'll have to wait and see to find out if these chatbots are actually liked by consumers. But we actually also get our second story from Instacart. They published in their blog a lot of insights on how they are using generative AI, not only with their tools for their users, but internally to optimize certain processes. So the first one, the big one, is that they work with a tool called Copilot, and also a tool that they developed internally in partnership with OpenAI to go and optimize a lot of coding processes. So for example, when they have to translate code from one language to the other, or when they have to optimize certain queries that are happening in Snowflake, they are now able to really reduce that process to a simple prompt. They actually also use them to process retailers' tickets. So obviously they get a lot of questions and remarks from the companies that they work with, and they are now able to group them, to label them more easily, and to do a lot more data analysis on a data set that really used to be very unstructured and that had to be labeled manually. Furthermore, they're not only building chatbots for external use, they're also doing that for internal use. They have created different chatbots that can allow employees to better access specific data. So for example, you can ask the chatbot, where can I do research about consumers? And then it will actually give you dashboards where you can find that information. This has been a game changer to democratize insights and data across the organization, but also allows for quicker onboardings with new employees and to make sure that you have less of a need to talk to a manager that knows exactly where to find something. And finally, they believe that the biggest win will be in customer experience. A lot of their data comes from reviews and from star ratings, but they also do a lot of calls with customers when they're happy or unhappy. And now with generative AI, they can make a lot more sense of all that information that is coming in. We're actually with Wonka working on a very similar project. And then it's time to probably talk about the most unexpected story of the week. So Alibaba Group, well, that company, which is also known as the Amazon of China, has publicly announced their new chatbots. They have made them available and they're actually making them completely open source. The chatbots are called Qwen7B and Qwen7B Chat. And of course, this is quite remarkable because you might have assumed that the company coming from China, that they would maybe restrict the access, but they're really taking the Facebook approach here and maybe even a step further. And obviously this is good news for us because it means that we will have more models to choose from, and that a monopoly by OpenAI that is obviously not so open is not very likely to happen, or less likely to happen. But it's also, of course, good news for them, because where will we host those models? Maybe on Alibaba, who knows? Finally, I want to talk about Jordi van den Bussche. better known as Kwebbelkop on YouTube. He has more than 50 million followers, which makes him easily one of Europe's most successful YouTubers. Now, he has stated in the past that he has struggled with burnout and with constant pressure to upload every week because the YouTube algorithms really favor people that are frequent on the platform. And he has also seen a decline in views across his videos. Now, he has played around with this idea of using AI in his videos for a long time. He actually launched another YouTube channel called Blue, which was completely AI created. It was not a real person, but they put some constraints and they gave him his own character so that it would really feel like you're watching the same person every time again that you would come on the channel. And it actually became very popular. They had 700,000 subscribers and thousands of views on every video. Now he's taken this concept a step further and he has created a virtual version of himself for his main YouTube channel. So for the future videos, it's not going to be him personally that is going to make the video, but it's going to be a digital clone of him that is going to do the Minecraft videos. And this, of course, is a very special concept. And we have to be honest here, the fans are not too happy with this change. In the comments, you can read a lot of nostalgia towards the old Kwebbelkop and people complaining that the AI version is not the same thing. And I guess there's a learning here for businesses. You really have to make every time the trade-off between authenticity and efficiency. In the sense that when you're, for example, on the side of the road, your car just broke down, you don't care about authenticity. You just want efficiency. When you call Turing or Europe Assistance, it's a computer. It doesn't matter as long as you're being helped as soon as possible. But on the other side, when you're looking for a real authentic experience with a person that you've maybe had a personal connection with, or that at least you feel that you have a personal connection with, it gets very weird when that person all of a sudden is replaced by a virtual machine. And so every time in your business that you want to use AI, you really need to ask that question like, what are the expectations from my consumer? Do they expect a real human or do they expect efficiency? And if one of them is the case, then it obviously makes more sense to use or not to use generative AI. So I hope you liked this first video. I have to be honest, it was a little bit awkward. It's a long time that I've talked into a camera like this. And it took me more than an hour to get to the shots that I actually like. So if you want me to do this more, let me know. If you think this is a really bad idea, you can also let me know. And then, of course, I hope to see you next week.